Hey everybody, here I am in Tokyo, Japan. No. No, I'm not actually. Let's just drop that. I'm gonna stop pretending that I'm recording these intros in the place that I recorded the episode. That's not what's going on. I'm in Burbank, California, where I live. I'm done traveling. The traveling's over. But the travel podcast is not over because while I was traveling, I recorded a bunch of episodes, and I just stopped releasing them. Why? Well, uh, it was starting to affect the travel in a weird way. I mean, I would be traveling, and then I would be in a city for only a couple days, and one of those days I would be sitting down on my laptop editing a podcast. I kind of realized what was happening, and I was like, "Oh wait, that is why the fuck am I doing that? This is the probably the only time in my entire life where I'm really going to get to do something like this." And I'm not even really experiencing it fully because half the time I'm looking at a computer screen. Kind of weird. And I conveniently realized that when I got to Tokyo. Um, Tokyo was really cool, and it was the only place where I wasn't just a solo traveler. So this is what's kind of, I don't know, exciting about this episode is I got there as a solo traveler, and then people joined me. So we recorded, and it was my friend Ben, who's a journalist from Australia, and my friend Natalia. She is a comedy person in Los Angeles. You know, more important than that, I guess they are my friends, and we had a good time in Tokyo. And so it was cool to just, I don't know, sit down and do a real live fucking just talk about our shared experiences instead of just poor Kevin. It's always me calling him up and just monologuing to him shit that happened to me, and then he has to you know respond. uh but this time it was this group of us, and I think it went pretty well. Actually, we recorded a long time. We recorded a lot of stuff in two different sessions or whatever. And it was just us hanging out. There's a lot of bullshitting, but I didn't want to cut too much of it out. So instead, I'm going to split this one up. Anyway, enough intro. And I don't think I have to intro the city, right? I don't have to say oh, this is Tokyo. It's blah, 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 blah. You know what it is, right? Everybody has an idea of what Tokyo is like. So just come in with that. Come in with your preconceptions. Did I say that this is a podcast? It's a podcast. You already know it's a podcast. What's the podcast name? It's Bad Travel Podcast. Big time, super cool Tokyo edition, 3000.
It's just a joke. 今更何を It's just a joke. 確かめ合うの It's just a joke. あなた得意のジョークでしょ It's just a joke.
I love Finding Nemo. I just rewatched it a couple of months ago. It's a fantastic film.
Yeah.
I feel less good about Finding Dory because that movie is very sad
Yeah.
the whole time. It doesn't really ever stop being sad. Every 5 minutes, something really sad happens.
Yeah.
I don't know why they did that. I thought it was for kids.
Yeah. I think that's why maybe there's so much depression is because these kids' movies are sad.
Because we make them watch Finding Dory and then they get clinical depression.
Well, Pixar movies are just insane tales that are all about depressing people. They're not even
They're about
delightful
loss,
anymore.
mostly.
Yeah. Think about that lamp jumping on the ball and then he pops it and just looks at you and he's like, wah, wah, this is the movie you're about to see. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I know what you're talking about,
The
but
Pixar lamp.
I don't know if that's what the look at the camera is meant to
He's
indicate.
I think she's right. I think they prepare you. This is going to be a film about loss, about lack of control, about how everything goes to shit.
This has shattered my entire universe because that works perfectly well. Because that's amazing. He just crushes the life out of something and he's just looking at you and he's just saying, get ready.
he found that thing. He was just like, oh, and jumping up and
This is
down on it.
fun.
The eye. Yeah, this is
Well,
fun.
now it's dead.
And it was his fault too. And that's what we're teaching children: is that everything is your fault.
Yeah. Did you hear about the new Pixar movies?
Which one?
It's about two teardrops that meet on a woman's face as she watches her family get slaughtered.
Okay, well, I know you're saying this as a joke, but if you look at like the early production stills of the Anne Frank one, her eyes are very, very big. It's adorable. It's really cute.
Is that a romance? The two tears meeting on their face?
Yeah.
Kind of redeeming.
it's
But
cute.
it's actually a really harrowing tale about how personality is sublimated by relationships. They stop being individuals and they just become.
Yeah, it's a musical.
What's the
One of the tears is voiced by John Lovitz.
Oh, he's good.
The other one is Ellen DeGeneres.
She's great.
Yeah.
Neither of them have done anything racist in the past month, have they?
Mm.
I don't want to endorse.
Well,
a
I don't know
celeb,
when
but
I'm gonna release this podcast.
I can't imagine Ellen DeGeneres doing anything racist. Does she?
She's very homophobic, though. She always making jokes about lesbians, and I have no idea why.
Well, I think we're ready to start podcasting. We've warmed up enough.
Okay.
So, folks, we're here in Japan. Yeah, is that fair to say?
Yeah, I agree.
And
are.
you come to Japan, you have certain ideas about Japan because you grow up as an American.
Do
right?
you?
Don't... Yes.
Okay,
Everybody in the world grows up as an American, unless you're already in Japan.
sure.
Is that fair to say? We assume that that premise is valid.
I mean, it's not entirely wrong.
Okay.
It's 90% true.
I think even if you're not an American, the way you get Japanese culture is filtered through the Anglosphere in a way that makes you an American.
Through the American dubs of Dragon Ball Z.
You only become an American by watching dubs of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
That's the American identity.
Mm-hmm.
But you grow up watching anime and manga and shit, and it's like you have a certain idea of Japan that's as like this because you're getting like the teen media from Japan. So before coming to Japan, when you're a teenager, your idea of Japan is like giant robots, hot anime babes. Fair to say?
Hot anime robots. Sometimes the robots have titties. I don't know if you've seen this.
Mm.
Yeah, some creative Googling, you can find animals fucking.
Just like to help the listener out.
Wolf people.
Could you list some of the terms you could use to find these things? Because I know how.
Well, yeah, you can just go to my website and get the hyperlink.
Mm.
geocities.com.
Derek'sAnimeCorner.geocities.com.
Yeah, part of the website's still under construction. You can tell because two little men are sawing.
But it's fine because even if you go to that page, some MIDI music will start playing and you can just listen to that. You don't even need to look at that content.
And I haven't done any more like programming on that page because I'm waiting for the men to finish their job.
Do you think anyone ever thought like, instead of promising something and not having it there, I could just not have that part of my
Not
website
have the
until
under
it's done.
construction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people would figure it out if they tried to click on something and it just didn't exist.
Yeah, or even if there wasn't a link.
Well, websites don't do that anymore, and that's why they fucking suck.
What's-
We're in Web 3.0 or something.
All websites are like one page now.
Yeah,
Mm.
but that's the thing is now every website is constantly under construction. It's because you'll log in and one day the post button is on the left hand side and you lose your mind. If they had put a little under construction GIF on the page, I would know that I can't count on anything being the way it's going to be. I would know that things are in flux. Instead, they just spring it on you.
When Twitter introduced the concept of moments, they put the moments tab where the interactions tab used to be, so that people would instinctively go to see, who's tweeting at them, who's faving their tweets.
It's misleading.
And instead, they go to the worst garbage part of the website.
Oh, something new. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's my voice, and that's how I sound. And that's what I say. It's bullshit. New things suck. Unless they're preempted by an under construction GIF. Because then I know to expect it.
Under construction kind of has the implication that whatever was before is being rebuilt. And why can't we just accept the new thing as its totally new, unrelated thing?
Because I came there for the old thing. It's like if you went to drink a Coke and it was suddenly orange juice.
You'd be like, what's this new thing? I'm excited. But not you. You're like,
I really like orange juice, though.
I do like orange juice. That was a bad example. I go to drink Coke and it says the shitty moments tab on Twitter. That would be a problem.
That wouldn't taste good as a drink.
No, it wouldn't. Ben, you're a manga guy. You manga'd when you were a teen. I think you told me.
Yeah, I mangaed pretty hard.
So what was that experience like? And when you read manga as a kid, I know in like one sense you're like, this is just Naruto or whatever the hell.
I didn't read Naruto, but go on.
So you're reading Naruto and you think this is just Naruto, but don't you also like come up with a bunch of ideas about how Japan is or whatever?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's like I was watching a lot of anime, reading a lot of manga, and I think I believed that all of Japan was nerd content because
That's all you got.
yeah, all I got was cartoons and comic books. That'd
You
be
weren't,
like
you weren't watching like the NHK World Nightly News or whatever the fuck.
no, absolutely not. This would be like if someone in Japan's only impression of America was from reading the like Phoenix Saga of X-Men, and they're like, oh, I've read like 100 issues. I think I'm pretty familiar with American culture. Like you'd glean some stuff
Yeah.
for sure, but you'd also be calling everyone bub and smoking cigars inside all the time.
We got to find that guy over here.
I want to be friends with that dude. I reckon it'd be great.
I feel like that is a stupid assumption, but it's a totally reasonable assumption when you're a teenager and to just read a bunch of shit and it's all from Japan and you think, well, how could this shit come? How could this shit be created unless it was created from the culture that already exists? Therefore, anime is Japan.
Yeah.
Japan is like an anime.
Which is why I thought that I would come over here, and then because of some sort of logistical mistake, I would be placed in the boarding house exclusively for women, and then I would be forced to bathe with them, and I'd hate it, all the time. I'd be like, oh no, all these hot women, they're always trying to, but secretly,
Right.
I think I kind of like it. And then at the end, I marry all of them.
Yeah.
That didn't happen.
What manga are you reading? Exactly.
I mean, I was reading a lot.
Because all of the Japanese cartoons that I got had nothing to do with that.
There's nothing sexy in yours?
I don't, unless you think, animals with little faces are sexy.
What were you reading?
Like Pikachu and I guess like Sailor
Winnie the
Moon.
Pooh. Well, classic anime.
Yeah, maybe it's just because I grew up as a female. It's different. I didn't really want to read about the women's storm.
Well, that's the thing about like Japanese teen content is for boys. It's so boy oriented. I don't know. It's like all the stupid shit that if in America you made a cartoon that's just like giant robots, hot ladies, and they love the only boy in the show. He has no competition. There's no other male.
And he's the dumbest fucking.
He's the dumbest,
person in every
most
room.
so fucking passive. People just push him from one room to another, tell him what to do. They're like, get in the giant robot, and he's like, I guess.
I hate getting
He
in
makes
the
no
giant robot.
choices.
The content that I read was made me believe I could become the lead witch at the school that I was at, or that me and my 5 friends could put our wands together and defeat anyone that came at us.
But it turns out that wasn't the case. You could not become the lead witch at your school.
I think I might have been the only witch at my school at one point.
Well, I guess.
I don't know.
I guess yes. Then, if you're the only one.
Weirdly enough, a lot of anime nerds, they're sort of omnivores. They watch the teen boy stuff, but they also watch the stuff that's for girls, where they're witches and they talk to cats and in the animes that are just about going to school and playing in a band together and hanging out with your friends, going to the beach. They watch both, and then they have this weird empathy towards, they think they have a weird empathy towards Japanese teen girls. It's like, oh, I can relate to that. It's like, no, you can't.
No, because they're also reading 500-page comics about Japanese teen girls being ripped apart by tentacles.
Right, exactly. And it's just, I was in Osaka, and I saw this big, fat, ponytail, white American dude in his 30s, and he was sitting there, and he had a girl on his lap, and she was in a Japanese schoolgirl outfit with long hair and colorful highlights in her hair, blue highlights, and the twin buns,
Mm-hmm.
and I was coming up and I saw that and I was like, this is fucking disgusting. What has this man done? He's roped some J-teen onto his lap. Is he paying her? What's going on? This is the grossest shit ever. And then I came around and I saw that the girl was actually in her 30s white woman who was just, I guess, dressed up for her big gross boyfriend.
Yeah, I
It's
don't.
kind of romantic.
Yeah, I guess they found each other. I, yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that, but mainly because you started it by saying it was like a 30-year-old big fat man with a ponytail, and I don't like that idea.
I just think it's interesting that the guy has a clearly rigidly defined fetish. He comes to the country with his girlfriend, and she has the same thing. Their minds are,
As one.
as one. She dresses up like that for some reason, and then they're in public, and she's sitting on his lap, and it's gross.
I think public displays of affection are looked on very negatively here, right? As a cultural thing.
Yeah. But that's the thing, is that guy and that girl don't like Japanese culture. They like the specter of Japanese culture that you get from watching cartoons.
Mm. They like the horniness of it.
Yeah, they like jacking off to it.
Yeah.
Oh, there. I guess there is kind of like the equivalent of like Japanese people that like American shit, but not as much. I was talking to this Japanese girl. She and her mom go to the Disneylands all over the world, and she was telling me like, I don't like Japanese culture, but I do love Disney.
I don't understand people who like Disney because to me it's just so boring. There's like the actual movies, okay, are kind of whatever. Who cares? They're kind of good, but Disneyland, I just has no appeal to me because everyone freaks out about it, especially in Southern California. They're like, I'm gonna spend $250 or whatever it is to get this pass so I can go wait in a line and see the same shit I saw before. And it's just like I would never say that to all of them because they like collect stamps in their books and stuff. But it's like I don't understand. Why? Like, why do you like Disney when even just out of all the theme parks that are in Southern California, like Universal Studios is so much better in every way. You go to Disney, it's like, I'm going to sit in a wagon, from like electricity from 1940 and like look at a cardboard cutout of a toad with a black light on it. And this is amazing. And I'm like, I don't get it. There's no thrill of it. You're not like being thrown upside down. You're not seeing stuff that's like beyond your perception of what could have been real. You're not
Well,
experiencing.
what the fuck theme parks are you going to?
She's going to that.
You're just taking acid and wandering through a junkyard.
You're going to the Schlitterbahn where the kid got his head cut off because he went far too fast on that fucking water slide.
I'm just saying, if I'm going to pay $100 to go in someplace, it better be from the fucking future. I don't want to see like this 1950s like dreamland that was shitty at the time and it's shitty now. Anything you can draw with a pencil is probably going to be shitty.
I see. The 1950s stuff is the only thing that I find vaguely interesting because that design aesthetic of like how crankly, I don't know what the word I was looking for there was, but like everything is very mechanical. There's lots of gears, there's lots of stuff, and it's all like.
I guess I'm just jealous that other people find joy in things that, to me, have no joy in them because I know that I'm going to be like that Pixar light.
Look, I don't
my
find
whole
a
life.
lot of joy in it. If I were to try and extract some joy from those theme parks.
Do you think you maybe like Disney because you're fetishizing American culture?
I mean, I'm not saying even that I like Disney. I'm just saying that those are the good parts of the Disney theme
Then
parks.
defend Disney,
Does
the thing you love.
Well, Walt Disney got that. Oh wait, no, it was Henry Ford that got the letter from Hitler, wasn't it? Not
Hitler loved writing letters. We all got one.
Fair enough, but Disney was a racist. He hated
Walt Disney was a racist.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say that everybody at that time was racist compared to now.
I mean, I think he was
standards.
racist compared to the people back then as well.
Oh.
He didn't like Jews.
There's that Mickey Mouse short where he gets a high interest loan, right? Remember, and his train gets repossessed or something. But anyway, I think it's interesting. Japanese culture, yeah. Their children's media. They got children's media. They got shit for little kids, and they got shit for adults, just like America. But America doesn't have, like cartoons for teens. Whereas Japanese stuff, it's like, this is for teens, and it's like really edgy, and it's like there's lots of blood, and you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that part is what's missing from, like, you can't imagine, like, now Mickey Mouse has a gun, and not only is there Minnie, but there's Trixie Mouse, and, all these other dames.
And
hanging around.
occasionally they sort of bend over and the skirt will lift up a little bit.
That's right.
It's not enough that you would censor it, but there's a hint of it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to start this off by like being like, that stuff is not Japan.
But I think it is Japan.
Yeah, there's definitely wind here, and sometimes it can lift your skirt up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've experienced the wind firsthand here. That's why I've been wearing pants.
that was a good
I'm
call.
not going to let this Japanese wind get me.
So you don't want to engage in Japanese culture, is what you're saying?
I'm just saying that I've seen anime, I know how Japan works, and I'm not going to wear a skirt and let the wind get me.
I mean, this is probably good because I think if you did, all the men around you would get nosebleeds and then they'd fall over.
Yes.
I got
That's
the one
true.
big teardrop going on. It's the size of my head.
You know what I love? There's this thing called chibi.
Yeah, where
Do
they
you know
go
what I'm talking
chibi.
about?
Yeah.
Yeah, when someone goes chibi.
I think
I love when
isn't
people
it
go
isn't
chibi.
it chibi?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
So what's your point? What, I pronounced something wrong?
Yeah, what the fuck, dude?
Well, in Japan we wouldn't do that.
I'm just saying,
We care about doing
You've
things
been
the
here
right
for like
way.
4 days longer than we have.
Yeah.
you should never make fun of people for pronouncing things wrong because it means that they learned it from something they read.
And that means they're a genius.
Maybe they just haven't had the same privileges that you've had of
Maybe
hearing.
you've heard it a lot, but you're pronouncing it wrong because you're stupid and you need to be punished.
Maybe I'm deaf and I've been reading your lips this whole time,
Oh,
so I
wow.
didn't know what the inflection was.
I always think like the best kind of bigot would be someone that's bigoted towards deaf people. I don't know why, but I just think like that's such a like, you know what I mean, like an innocuous thing. But then to be like, I hate those deaf people.
I think blind people would maybe be worse to me.
Yeah.
Like if you're just like fucking blind people, you just be like, oh man, come on. They got a pretty hard lot. Like maybe he's up on him. Like, nah, fucking hate him.
I kind of want to like go undercover in an anti-deaf or anti-blind organization.
There's no thing.
Or I mean, I guess not undercover. I guess I just want to join one.
What you're
It-
saying is that you hate deaf and blind people.
I don't actually hate them. I just think of all the people you could hate, that would be the most interesting.
It'd be a
Why?
funny kind of person to hate.
Yeah. It'd be interesting. All those deaf people moving into our neighborhood, trying to act like you can do your hand symbols. Why are you in a gang? It's saying secret messages to each other. I don't like it. Why can't you hear?
Are you saying that bigots are from the South?
Yeah, I'm trying to pick which state that is. To me, that's almost
That's New Jersey.
I had like one conversation with a stranger in New Jersey, and she was like taking great pains to demonstrate to me that she didn't like Trump. I think she was like, oh, it's a foreign person, and he's in Jersey. He probably thinks that I'm a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, oh, I don't like that Trump person much. And I was like, oh, thank you, lady at this Goodwill.
I've done that a
agree.
bit while traveling, like trying to like.
You like sort of front load the fact that you're not a complete dipshit.
Well, yeah, when the topic of America comes up, I have to be like, hey, you know, that Trump guy, boy, how I did not vote for him. Please do not hate me.
And that's probably good. I think we generally assume anyone we see abroad that's American probably didn't vote for him.
Yeah, well, if you voted for Trump, you probably stay
In America.
home. Yeah.
Why would you want to leave? There's nothing else to see.
Yeah, I voted for Trump. He's president. I want to stay here while it all goes down.
Yeah.
Well, by it going down, I mean the country suddenly becoming great again.
Which I would describe as going down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
can't wait until America's a utopia because we elected the guy from The Apprentice.
And it's only going to take 4 or 8 years.
Yeah.
I would love to see Trump like political cartoon as like a chibi political. You know what I mean? Like
that
if
exists.
Trump.
It's got to
does?
exist. Surely.
Yeah.
I bet. If we Googled Chibi Trump, I bet you we get like a lot of results.
Yeah.
I want to see a manga where Trump switches bodies with Ivanka Trump and then has to go to high school. And then,
The first 28 panels are him looking in the mirror.
yeah, well, doing more than just looking in the mirror.
I wanted to keep this podcast I want children to be able to listen to this podcast.
I want them to listen to it.
I hope this only goes out to children.
This is going to be played over like the intercom in middle schools all across the country.
You're going to learn lots of great lessons, like believe in yourself. Don't let bullies get you down. You guys got any good life advice for middle schoolers?
As someone who was a bully growing up, yes, I think that's a good advice.
As someone who was a bully growing up, my advice is stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
I only have one question. Why are you hitting yourself?
So we got this idea of Japan.
Yeah.
You come to Japan preloaded with a bunch of shit. You mostly grow out of it when you're a teenager if you're not a dipshit.
And then you watch Lost in Translation and you get a whole bunch more ideas.
Right, you get a more subtle version of Japan. It's like, I'm going to come to Japan. I'm going to be in Tokyo. I'm going to be depressed.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to have a romance with another American.
He was 30 years older than me.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're going to listen to shoegaze,
Mhm.
mope around.
I don't think they listened to shoegaze in that movie. I think shoegaze is the soundtrack.
No, but if it happened to you in real life, you would be listening to shoegaze.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm sorry.
You would be like, now I'm sad in Tokyo. Time to play My Bloody Valentine.
Can you imagine how fucking good that would feel, though? Like, I would kill to be 22, super depressed, alone in Japan, listening to shoegaze, staring out the window of, like, an apartment onto city lights. Like, that is honestly one of the best things I can imagine doing.
Yeah, I mean, I would push my grandmother down the stairs for that kind of experience. And I'll do it even if it doesn't lead to that experience, in fact.
I wouldn't do that, but only because I'm scared my grandma would get back up. And then I would have to deal with it. Would be a whole series of things. She's in very good health. She's quite strong. She rides a lot,
She rides a lot of what?
like long distance, like bike riding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I had a different experience than that growing up. I felt like my brother really liked to watch Dragon Ball Z and like anime that was on. And when I was younger, I was like, Japanese cartoons suck. Like, why? Like, they don't animate it enough. Like, I want to see the finger move all the way from, I don't know. I just felt like there wasn't enough animation involved, you know? And I didn't like how, like, when something would happen, it would just be it would be like Pikachu with like a bunch of colors behind him flying. Yeah, I was like, what? Why? I want to watch Recess, where everyone's mouth goes with what they're saying, and it's about something that I understand.
I am a Japanese schoolgirl. I'm hanging out with my friend who has huge boobs, and we trip, and I land on her boobs, and I say "Gomenasai." You know what I mean?
That would have helped me more.
How about I'm cooking food and I get a bunch of steam in my eyes and I can't see. I'm temporarily blinded and I turn
Mhm.
around and I go to grab a dishcloth. And instead, my friend who has huge boobs is standing behind me and I grab them. And to
Mhm.
make sure that they are a dishcloth, I give them a couple of squeezes.
How about
And then you say "Gomenasai."
Then I say, "Gomenasai."
I'm an American schoolgirl and everyone's walking to lunch and I see a bunch of ducks and I have some leftover crackers from lunch from yesterday in my pocket and I throw it out to the ducks and all the ducks like me and I'm queen of the ducks. What about that?
I'm not on board with that one. The ones that we said, I think, would.
Yeah, yours was missing some kind of essential element.
I'm thinking maybe when you're feeding the ducks, you have to bend over really far, and then one of your friends is standing behind you, and he's like, "What?"
And he gets a nosebleed.
He gets a nosebleed, and then he falls over.
Yeah, or
Is
maybe
that-
one of the ducks has huge boobs. You ever think of that?
No.
I think both of our recommendations, we could even do both.
So, do you think as Westerners we're kind of like, I feel like you're kind of prone to have this sort of like weird racist, otherizing, infantilizing view towards Japan, where like, we watched that video of Kirsten Dunst and she's like dancing around singing. I think I'm turning Japanese, and she's in an anime schoolgirl outfit.
Yeah.
Or Avril Lavigne, Hello Kitty.
I mean, I think because obviously you get a really homogenous idea of what Japanese people are like, which means you don't really like. I don't know. I think your assumption is that you don't really think about how the breadth of everyone's life here is just as mundane as the breadth of everyone's life in, America, Australia, whatever. Everyone's like some fucking dumbass on a train who just has a shitty job and goes home and watches TV, whatever.
Right.
I've watched a few of their ads, and it certainly seems like things really are crazy in their private lives. People have vicious political debates about whether vacuum cleaners should be on sale, that sort of thing.
But I think, like, more than any other country, people mistake Japanese media for Japan in a way you don't do with other shit. Hopefully, I mean, when I was growing up and watching, like, British comedy shows, I didn't think, well, I'll go to Britain and it'll be like that. I figured, well, British people are just like me because I'm white.
Yeah. I think I got a pretty correct idea of what America is like from
Friends dancing around a fountain.
Well, from just all of American movies and TV, like all of the stereotypes that are played out in those are
Well,
kind of true to some extent. LA is exactly.
American media is like much more like it wants to be based in realism.
Yeah.
Whereas the Japanese media you're intaking is for teens and it's all about fantasy, right?
You don't think Friends is a fantasy? 5 people living in the same apartment building and are all friends?
Got him.
I mean, who would do that? That's just weird. I don't think I'd ever live in the same. Like, I'd become friends with someone.
Remember when Chandler fucks Monica?
What?
I didn't really watch any Friends. I don't like that show. It's not funny.
Everyone that I've ever met that says that they like Friends is not American. Like, it's always like my Swedish friend that's abroad, like studying.
She's
like,
abroad?
I love Friends. Abroad in the United States from Sweden.
Yeah, when she's back in Sweden, she's abroad in Sweden.
Hey, yo.
No, but seriously, folks, is she single? But seriously, folks,
Do you like Friends?
Do I like Friends? Yeah, I do like Friends. I really like Friends, the show. I like that episode where they get the duck and the duck. You know what I'm talking? There's 2 ducks.
No, I've seen like.
I think it's called the one with 2 ducks.
That makes sense.
so you're on strike 2 of ducks. Do you understand? You bring up ducks again, that's it.
You were out.
Oh my god, I love ducks though. So I can't.
I think this is still technically part of the second time she's brought it
Yeah,
up. So
that's
you're
right.
safe for now, but
So I can still continue to talk about ducks.
if it's an unbroken stream, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like this loophole. But the weird nerds who love Japan, like in a weird way, aren't good. But it's also dishonest to say it's not like the nerds did that to Japan. Japan produces this stuff, right? Not like the government produces, like they voted on it and decided this is the way to live their life as a country, whatever the fuck. But this is Japanese media, but it's like weirdly catered towards a certain audience to like where people come to Tokyo, they come here and they're like, I gotta go to Akihabara, I gotta go to a maid cafe, I gotta go to fucking the robot thing?
I
Yeah.
wanted to do all of those things, and you guys didn't want to do any of those things.
I mean,
Because we would go there and it would be like cringy.
So what? Like, that's fun.
cringing
Why is it
unpleasant.
cringe?
Cringing feels bad.
What part of that
I
is
don't
cringe?
want to go to a place in Japan and look around and see just white people.
Yeah.
To me, that means I made a mistake somewhere.
There's
100%.
also going to be the Japanese people that are working there.
That's true.
All I'm saying is that the Robot Cafe sounds cool, and I wanted to do it, and no one else wanted to do it.
We can go back and do it. I feel like
So then, is Disneyland is like a bad thing? It's the same thing as the
Well,
Robot
okay,
Cafe.
so
I
here's the
wouldn't go
thing
to
I was
Disneyland.
going to say about Disney. Disney is like mouses and dogs and fucking birds and shit or whatever. It's always animals, you know? But I feel like when people like Japanese fucking culture stuff, they come here and they're like, it's all sexy teens in their cartoons. So they come here and they're looking for sexy teens, not Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
they're not looking for.
You might
wholesome
actually
things.
find some sexy teens in Japan if you're looking for them.
Don't though.
But don't.
I urge you to stay away from teens, unless you're a middle schooler listening to this, and then I guess fine, but be respectful.
If you're a middle schooler, you can afford a flight to Japan, you speak Japanese, and you're not going to otherize them. Find some sexy teens. Absolutely.
Or regular teens. I don't think we can encourage.
I wasn't
I'm
even
not
like
going-
none of those things to me are sexy. Like the Robot Cafe is not sexy. I just want to see some fucking people dressed up like robots and a bunch of crazy lights and it's like crazy music and people have a parade while I'm eating. I would do that in the States too, but do we have a Robot Cafe? No. So I don't
No,
see
but
why
you have
that
like
makes me a bad person.
you have the Magic Mike, whatever.
The Magic Mike. Well, I'm not interested in men without their shirts on. I want to see fucking robots.
You want to
That
see
have a
robots
cafe.
fucking?
That too.
If that was what you proposed, if you were like, this is a thing where robots have sex, I would be like, when in Japan, go see robots fucking. I'm sorry, I thought that was implicit.
Yeah, I don't think that. Yeah, I don't know. Just all that stuff that you said, like Akihabara.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, what is that? That's where all the arcades are, or is that the?
It's like got a lot of arcades and electronics and shit, but it's also got like, you know, you walk down the street and like the entire side of a building is a busty anime babe, and it's like going to the store and you can buy some DVDs of
Okay,
stuff.
I want to go to that now that you're saying that. That actually sounds pretty good. I still don't want to go to the robot cafe though. So.
All right, whatever. I'll go to the Robot Cafe without you guys. You know, I recently saw on Twitter that Chrissy Teigen went to the Robot Cafe, and she was like, "Not many people go to the Robot Cafe 4 times," and she's a celebrity. So if she has all this money and she can go anywhere she wants and she's in Tokyo and she's like, I'm going to go to the Robot Cafe 4 times, don't you think that means there must be something there?
So I stopped listening to your story after you said Chrissy Teigen because I wanted to relate that she follows me and faved one of my tweets.
Oh, that's so funny that you say that because I would like to relate that Chrissy Teigen follows me and has faved some of my tweets.
Does Chrissy Teigen follow you guys?
Yeah, but
That's right.
That makes me take you guys so much more seriously. Like, I'm beaming right now.
She liked a video I did, which means she saw my face and heard my voice and clicked the heart button, which means I love you.
yeah, she's never done that to me. All right, fuck you. Okay, fine, you win.
So do you guys want to go to the Robot Cafe then?
Absolutely not.
No.
Whatever.
If you want to go to the Robot Cafe, I'm not going with you.
You know what? I'm going to go to the Robot Cafe.
And you can go to a maid cafe.
Listen, if you want to go to the Robot Cafe by yourself, I'm going to stop you.
We're going to have an intervention. This is the intervention.
Just like,
There is no podcast.
Who's deciding what part of Japanese culture is cool and what part is not cool and what part is unacceptable for you to like? Like that's not fair. Like who's deciding that?
The ratio of white people that are there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there are a lot of white people there. It's not cool.
Yeah.
Well,
We're ruining things
maybe-
just by being at them.
maybe it's actually the most cool, and white people are tourists, and they're like,
are
"Oh,
you,
that's
are
super
you
cool. Let's go
advocating
there."
that white people... You're basically advocating white supremacy, that white people know Japan better than Japanese people.
No, I'm saying that.
Next, you'll be saying, why have Japanese people in Japan at all?
Look, when Japanese people come to Los Angeles, are they coming to my bedroom? No, because it's not fucking cool. They're going to the coolest spots there, and it's the same way
They're
here.
going to Planet Hollywood. They're going to the Hollywood sign.
Yeah,
They're
those
going
places
to
are
the
cool.
Ripley's Believe It or Not
I
museum.
don't know why you decided to roast your own bedroom there.
Because why focus on that? We're having an extreme debate here, and you're trying to bring up my bedroom.
I haven't been to the Robot Cafe. I don't know what the inside of the Robot Cafe looks like. I am going off the recommendations of my friends, and I trust them. If you're saying that my friends are shitty idiots with no brains and big asses, fine.
No, I'm not saying that. You guys are saying that. Look, if you had no recollection, okay, that's the wrong word. If you had no education, and no opinion about the Robot Cafe, if you just heard the words, "Hey, we're going to Japan. Do you want to go to the Robot Cafe on Friday? We got 5 people going. Would you like to go to the Robot Cafe?" And your mind is like, "Robot Cafe? That doesn't sound cool. I'm not going."
It's like a schmaltzy, corny thing for tourists. I feel like, look, part of the shit about traveling is, after you've been traveling a while, not to like toot my horn, I've been traveling for a little while, you kind of want to do the shit that's not super touristy. The Robot Cafe just is super touristy. How can you tell? You go there, bunch of tourists. I come to Japan, I want to see the Japan shit. I want to go to a place, walk in, and there's a bunch of Japanese people already there, not like pre-selected or something.
And they're looking at us with anger because we're ruining their
We're
experience. by
ruining their
being there.
experience. They would rather we went to the Robot Cafe.
God,
I have an
every person in Japan-
antagonistic form of tourism.
You want to inflict your horrible white presence on people that are otherwise enjoying a nice, intimate meal.
Absolutely. I want to walk into a place and eat udon with my fingers. I don't want to go to the I feel like when you go to the tourist places, that's what they want.
Who wants that? Who's they?
Japan.
I feel like I'm being ganged up on because I'm not so jaded by my views that I can't appreciate a Robot Cafe.
I don't have anything against you. I just think we should scalp the people that go to the Robot Cafe. I think if they have the top of their heads cut off.
And I'm a brown person, and you're telling me that you want to scalp me because of I want to go to the Robot Cafe.
It's a meritocracy. It's not because you're brown. You've like earned it because of your actions. And when you think about it that way, isn't that the perfect society?
This to me is just a perfect example of all of the things that you guys are against, and you're putting them on me right now. Like you're like, "Oh, we don't want to go to this Robot Cafe because actually it's like white people making their own culture in Japan, and it's actually disrespectful to Japanese culture because that's not really what Japan is like, and it's like fetishizing this robot thing that we like invented as a cultural aspect of Japan, right?" But now you're telling me that I can't go over there because of what you believe Japan should be like. Like, don't you think that you're not the fucking expert on what Japanese culture is?
I mean,
Fuck you.
that was an incredibly beautiful and articulate point.
I forgot what I don't. So I wasn't listening to most of that.
I would like to take back what I just said.
Sorry, what was the question? Do I think I'm right? Yes.
Okay.
I would like to say that I think we should go to the Robot Cafe now.
Thank you.
You and I can go.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go to like.
I also want to go to the other place that you said was bad because I do want to see all the big titty statues. Not because they've got calm down, everyone. Just because, it'll be funny. And sexy.
It's art. Right? Are you're gonna go and say, "Oh, I don't like this big tittied statue, so therefore I'm not gonna represent this artist." It's like Fahrenheit 9/11 or whatever that is. What 411? Whatever the fuck. They're both the same thing. You can't censor art, okay? See, half of the time you guys are talking about shit I don't care about, and then every once in a while I'm like, "Don't talk shit on the fucking Robot Cafe or you're gonna get the horns."
That's that classic expression.
So I think we're done talking about that part of.
I think we should spend a good 25 more minutes on the Robot Cafe.
Yeah. I don't. Do you guys have like an impression about like what Japan really is? You've been here for like a week. Do you? I don't know. Do you have a sense of the actual Japan underneath
Yeah.
the mediated like image of it?
Yeah.
I think the only thing that's really been like changed for me in my perception is that I very stupidly pictured the entirety of Tokyo as like 10-story buildings with strobing, flashing lights and neon signs and everything, and it's actually just super quiet.
Right.
Huge pockets of Tokyo is just like quiet and peaceful and very nice and
It's
relaxing.
like super residential. I mean, like Shibuya is crazy, or Shinjuku and Roppongi and stuff.
But even like a couple of streets off the main drag, it's already like the houses are like 2 or 3 stories tall and it's all single lane sort of stuff.
I think I had this vision that it was going to be really loud here, like not just visually loud, like you were saying, that's visually loud, but also like just noise everywhere of like music or like robots or whatever the fuck, right? And it's actually really, really quiet. Like usually when we go places, we're the loudest people, even if we're just talking.
I mean, I would like to say that I personally am not the loudest person. I just want to get that on the record.
Usually I'm the loudest person.
I don't know if that's true.
I talk very loud.
That is true.
We get excited. This is an exciting place to be.
But I mean, also it's easy to be the loudest person when nobody else is on the street talking.
Yeah.
Even the busy streets are quieter than you would expect them to be. Basically, the only places where it's really fucking loud are like if you're on an entertainment street and they're like playing music on the street for some reason.
Yeah. Even when you're at like, when we were crossing the street, like trying to get to that restaurant in Shinjuku last night, there were thousands of people there. Like literally thousands on the
Yeah.
streets. Still not that loud.
No,
Yeah.
not very loud. In the cars here, they don't honk.
Yeah.
It's pretty weird coming from like Southeast Asia where honking is just you just do it all the time, and then here you're walking down a street and there's a car behind you and it doesn't honk at you. You're just supposed to hear the fact that a car's like idling behind you and you move out of the way.
Yeah, it was the same with like there was a one guy who rang his bell at us to get out of the way on his bike, but no one else will. They'll just like slow down. They'll just
Right.
like sort of stop behind you and then wait for a break and then go for it.
I think everyone here has really good SA, situational awareness.
Thank you for explaining that.
Yeah, I didn't know what that meant.
Yeah, it's like you're walking down the street and you're not supposed to just be like, I'm walking down the street. This is my street. You're supposed to be like, oh, I'm walking on the public space. Like, I should be nervous that someone might hit me. And the car's like, oh, I'm driving on the public space. I should be nervous that I
Yeah.
might hit somebody.
Everyone,
And you're both scared.
Everyone's respectful. Everyone keeps their distance from each other.
Yeah, I think
It's-
people respect bodily autonomy. I think that's what it is. Until you get on a pack train and then that kind of goes out the window.
Right. But so your main impression, your first impression of Japan is you get here and you're like, wow, it's quiet.
Yeah.
But that's nice. you
It's
know?
really nice. That's like an amazing little bubble to have popped.
I think I would like categorize it as just like an ambient niceness. There's like a nice, respectful. I know people talk about like Japan and maybe Tokyo in particular as being like this sort of alienating place where everyone's so distant from each other. And it's like, well, I'm not living here, so I don't experience that. Instead, I just experience the nice respectfulness of it.
Mm.
Everybody given their own space, you know.
Everyone's clean, too.
People
There's
aren't
no trash.
getting in your
Yeah.
shit. in America, when you walk down the street, like half the time somebody's gonna like creepily look you in the eyes and try to psych you out to get you to walk on the other side. In Japan, you know,
It's
nobody's
good
gonna do that.
because that's what I want when I travel. If I'm by myself, I want to be in a little insulated bubble. Like really, I just want to be able to walk down the street and not think at all about the people around me.
Yeah,
And this is perfect for that. This is ideal.
yeah. Walking around the Japanese city it's delightful because like no one's gonna fuck with you, no one's gonna be weird.
No one's gonna get in your grill.
Your grill's gonna remain untouched, pristine grill, and then like getting around the city, pretty easy.
Almost too easy. It like doesn't really. I feel like I'm basically like I don't feel like I'm at home, but I also it doesn't feel like some crazy adventure because I just like look at a point on a map, plug some shit into Google Maps, and I'm like, oh, all I have to do is this. You get into the actual train stations, you touch on, you change your platforms, you do whatever.
I thought it would be more high tech, though. It's like it's still a train.
It's-
It's like on tracks.
Yeah.
It's not like
Well, you and I
Light
haven't been
speed.
on a bullet train yet. We haven't been on a Shinkansen,
yeah.
which we will do, and
Yeah, I wanna
that'll
do
probably
that.
blow our fucking minds.
Yeah.
There's no trash on the ground, and there's also not a lot of trash cans. So it makes me think that people hold trash like on them until they get to a place where they can dispose of it.
Yeah, that's what happens, I guess.
I think it's also
I've definitely been accumulating trash as I walk around.
well because it's considered rude to eat or drink while you're walking, and that's why all the bins are next to the vending machines and the bins are at the convenience stores because you get the food, you stand there and you eat it, or you drink your drink, then you put it in the bin and then you go.
It's considered rude to drink while you're walking.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Then how are you supposed to drink when you're thirsty?
you just stand there and drink.
You open up
Still
the
on the
bottle.
street.
Yeah, you can do it on the street, but you just meant to stand still.
You have to be
or sit.
stationary.
Yeah,
Next to the drink machine.
So if I'm
Which is
running,
fucked up because Japan is full of drink machines like on every single corner in Tokyo, and they have like good stalls that sell food directly onto the sidewalk.
but you meant to just eat it there where you get it.
Yeah, you can't walk around like in other places.
I wonder what Japanese culture thinks of camelbacks.
Oh, you reckon that might be a loophole?
Yeah.
Maybe.
The straw thing. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
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 Yeah, what do you think about that? What do you think they think about that?
I think they would still see that you're drinking. If you had the tube in your mouth, they'd be like, that motherfucker's drinking. They'd know.
So you're supposed to stop also to drink out of the straw. That's
But it's not like it's like an absolute iron rule or whatever. Like I've seen Japanese people walking around eating while they're walking. People do it. It's just considered like kind of gross and uncouth.
like if you're running a marathon and it's you, a Japanese person, versus someone else who's not
you
Japanese.
think you have an advantage because you would keep running to drink the water and they'd stop.
Right. They'd have to stop every time to be polite.
I mean, like marathon runners also shit themselves while they're running. So I think probably the rule about eating and
is
drinking
that rude?
goes out the window.
In Japan, it's considered rude to shit yourself while running. You're supposed to stand still and shit yourself.
And yeah.
Thank you for clearing that up for me about because I've been eating and drinking the whole time we've been walking here. More because I'm just like, oh, I want to see everything, and I think that's why people drink when they're walking.
Yeah, I mean,
when they're
it's
walking.
changing my habits because usually I would just go into a convenience store, grab something.
This
and
is the thing about like Japanese norms, and I guess norms anywhere, is if you go to a place and you're walking around eating a Twinkie or whatever the fuck as an American, they know you're not Japanese. They're not going to be like mad at you. They're just going to think, oh,
yeah.
he doesn't know. But if you're a Japanese guy, they'll probably be like, he's bad.
But still, I don't like the
I'm not
idea.
saying
of,
to do it or
No,
to take
no.
advantage of that, but I'm just saying, what's their attitude towards it? They're not going to be that.
They're going to
pissed.
give you a pass, but also being like another white person that comes over here and either doesn't know or does know and just chooses to ignore it just feels shitty. You're just contributing to like,
Totally.
this image of us as being huge shitheads, which we by and large are.
It feels like they're like if you go into a 7-Eleven, they have all this kind of food that's like made for walking and eating it at the same time, like the rice ball, but it's not, I guess.
No.
No, you're supposed to eat it at 7-Eleven.
I'm
But
trying to think of what like a similar offense would be in Western culture. Maybe like farting. You're not supposed to like just happily fart in public.
like, so in Cambodia, they like spit on the ground a lot, and Vietnam to a lesser extent. So they'll just be walking and they'll spit. Spitting's popular, and I feel like in America, spitting isn't as popular, and if you do it, you're kind of seen as a hick.
If spitting is very popular in rural Queensland.
Yeah, like it's popular in certain areas, but like if you're a city folk like us,
Yeah.
if you're in Brisbane, for example, and you spit on the ground, you probably think,
I mean, Brisbane still probably relatively accessible. But I mean, like a good city in Australia.
It's illegal to spit on the ground in the United States in some places. You didn't know that?
What places?
Like in Oklahoma, Texas, you're not supposed to spit on the
I
ground in
would
public.
think
What about
Texas.
chewing tobacco?
I would think Texas is the main spitting on the ground state.
They're the spittingest
Yeah, that's
state
'cause
in the whole continent of the
we're,
US.
or is
we're a
it
bunch
more
of
like
rebels.
in Texas you have to spit in a spittoon and make the ting noise?
Oh, I think, yeah, that's right. If you don't make the ting noise, it's a finable offense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a portable spittoon.
On
Ting.
your belt.
Yeah.
Not true.
That would be cool, though.
None
On
of
one
that's
side, you've
true.
got your holster and your gun. On your other side, you've got your portable spittoon.
Have you ever been to Texas?
Yeah, I've been to Texas.
And you still feel okay to say that?
Yeah.
Okay. Why?
Because it's funny. I love Texas.
Okay.
Texas is the Australia of America.
One man's Texas is another man's Australia.
That is so true.
What man? This guy sounds like a
Me.
dumbass.
Oh,
Oh, just
bit rough, man.
you walked right into that one.
I sure did. We're here in Japan.
Go on.
Have you got... Is that a little wireless keyboard?
This is for this.
Oh, okay. Because I have, I think, the same branded one of those.
I took
Did you
your
take
shit,
that out of my
man.
fucking
Oh
laptop?
yeah, yeah.
I don't
Took
even
your
have the
shit.
keyboard that it's here.
Wait.
for.
You have a laptop and then you have a separate keyboard? Tell me about that.
I had it in there because when I get really high, what I like to do is I like to watch 1950s travelogue videos on mute and listen to music at the same time, and I can't do that on my PS4. So what I do is I connect my laptop to the TV so I can have Spotify and YouTube going at the same time, but the only HDMI cable I have available is very short. And because I'm really high, I get kind of glued to the couch and I want to be able to control it. So what I do is I plug in a wireless keyboard so I can control it from the couch.
When you're high, you do more than I do when I'm sober.
It's a really good time. I'd recommend it to everyone.
Getting high or having that setup.
Not that setup specifically, the travelogues and the music. It's
What is a travel
Are there a lot of those on YouTube?
there's so many. There's what airlines used to make them in the 50s as ads, and they'd be like basically documentaries of the things you could do in other countries, and they'd put them before movies. So it'd be like, American Airlines flies to Spain. And then it would be like, these are all the things you can do in Spain. Look at these women gathering corn.
But you don't want to hear that.
I
You
like
just wanna
your
see the women
American
gathering corn.
announcer
But
accent.
that was the
voice.
newsreel voice where they'd be like, and here we see Jerry getting destroyed by American artillery. Well done, boys.
Can you don't be offended, but can you just speak in an American accent? That American accent for the rest of this?
No, I absolutely can't.
It sounds like the Bikini Bottom
You
announcer.
can't?
I can't. I simply can't. I can't.
May I say something American?
Say it.
You cunt.
Hey, there we go.
I mean Australian. Can I say
That's
something
British.
Australian?
Yeah, we like to say cunt a lot.
British people, I think, don't like to say cunt.
They don't. They say it, but
Twat?
not in the same way we do. They say, yeah, they'd say twat.
Twat.
But we say cunt the way they say that, and people get angry about it because it's a gendered insult in other countries, but it's not in Australia.
This can be deleted out of it, but when I was in Oklahoma, someone wants to mix the like gas and the oil that goes into your dirt bike. This guy told me that you put a cunt of this amount of liquid in there, and I was like, And then I found out that a cunt is the amount of liquid that gets a girl pregnant or something. But I don't. But then I told that story to someone else, and they were like, "No, that's not what it is."
I mean, I want that to be true because that's very funny.
The amount of liquid that gets a girl pregnant?
Is a cunt.
I think one semen can get a girl preggo, right?
But I mean, we're talking about what makes it statistically likely that one will get through. The minimum viable sperm amount.
So then I guess in that case, calling someone a cunt is like you're
exceptional. You're the one. You're the sperm that made it.
We just use it as like in a friendly way more often than it's used in a mean way.
I would like to do an experiment where, like, throughout all of human genetic history, we have only seen the people who have derived from the sperms with the best tails.
You want to see the alternate universe where the second sperms only got through.
Yeah, so I think we could do this experiment by sort of building a wall around the egg, capturing a wall that would kill the first sperm, and then the second sperm, the wall would lower, and then I want to see like the results of that. Because what if now this is the real mind fuck. We've all been sperms with fast tails. What if we're actually not the best? What if that was the peak? We peaked in spermhood with the fast tails, and then all of us are worse.
So
Right,
you
like-
Because all
you
of our
think
energy went to the fast
we're
tails.
showers, but you want to see what would happen if we were growers.
That's right.
It's incredible.
Yeah. That could be a sci-fi quadrilogy.
Although, obviously I'm not an evolutionary biologist, but I would assume that if the preponderance of people that derive from fast sperm survive to procreate, it would make sense that there was a direct correlation between fast sperm. Like we would have bred out if fast sperm didn't make good people, we wouldn't have.
But that's just part of the mechanism. The fast sperm just happens to be the one to get through.
Yeah, but I'm saying if being
But
a particularly fast
it might
sperm
be like
gets through.
it might be like a seesaw situation.
I understand what you're saying. It's not that I'm not following. I think that
Like when you make a character in an RPG and you balance your stats. What if fast tail, you get 10 points?
you don't have points for anything else.
Yeah. There might be a more ethically, minded, scientifically minded, a more gentle, humane set of sperm out there that we never get to see. They're destroyed in the womb. The violence of the womb is the title of one of my essays.
I get a feeling that you were a slow-tailed sperm and you got here by chance.
That's why I'm advocating
You're a
for
slow
our
sperm
kind.
advocate.
Yeah, the first sperm was like way out in front of me, and then he tripped.
Oh, you got Stephen Bradbury. He's Australia's greatest athlete. He's an Australian ice skater, speed skater, who won a gold medal for us in the 2002 or 2006 Winter Olympics, where in the semi-finals, everyone on the field in front of him tripped over and fell, and he won. And then in the finals, everyone on the field tripped over in front of him, and he won. And now, in Brisbane, for example, we have an ice skating rink named after him. He does lots of speaking events and stuff. He came into my the bar that
Is
I
he a
work at sometimes.
motivational speaker? Is it like, hey, you might have things go right for you if everyone else fucks up?
You might luck out. He came into the bar that I worked at a week ago. I wasn't there. I just got a text from like two different people that work there being like, you won't fucking believe who's here. It's the ice skating guy who won because everyone fell over. He's at the bar right now.
When he walks down the street, do people jokingly like
People fall over in front of him. Yeah, it's like, oh, do you want to get to the bar before me? Whoa! It's a good gag.
Oh, I think we all learned something. A good cum. No, I can't remember where I was going with that sentence.
You just wanted to say come.
A good cum is hard to come by. I don't know what I was going with. Second, the sperm. I don't remember.
I really don't like saying sperm
It's
at
not
all.
what I don't think any of the euphemistic words for it are any better than saying sperm. What would you say?
What other words are there for
I
it?
don't want to say them. I feel bad. They're even worse. It feels sexual.
Man milk.
Don't like that.
The male egg.
I mean, it's
Don't like that.
Mm,
More.
let's see. Tadpoles.
I like that. But that's already a thing.
Yeah.
Tadpoles.
Yeah, it's cute.
Yeah.
I like the tadpoles when they start to get little arms and stuff, and I wish that would happen to sperm.
I mean, in a sense,
does.
that is what. Yeah.
You know all those animals that like the lady animal lays an egg, and then the guy animal like jacks off onto the egg.
Fish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like fish.
Whales.
Like they jack off onto the egg. Like,
Okay, yes.
So they're like, so are they horny for the lady animal or are they horny for the egg? Because
They
they
still-
probably don't get full mast until they see the egg, and they're like, yeah.
They still
what I
no, they
mean?
still have sex. They still have sex.
Yeah,
like
but
fish are still having sex. They just
But for the guys, they're like,
sperm-
ugh, lay the egg already. I can't wait to fuck that.
Well, an inattentive lover would be like that. Yeah.
But a guy would never spurt until after his lady
wish
already
you
laid
wouldn't say
her
spurt.
egg.
yeah.
So it's kind of like
That's bad.
I'm saying it's like the reverse situation, like in human sex. It's always like, oh man, this guy came really early, what a spaz. But then in fish sex, it's more like,
What's it like?
Not sure. I just want to get that egg. You know what I mean? Give me that egg.
This is an
I don't know,
observation that you've
man.
been sitting for a while. Like, you've just been waiting for opportunity to be like, hey, you know how animals jack off onto eggs? I've got this really good bit about getting horny for eggs.
I just think that, like, wouldn't it be interesting if humans were more like fish and we wanted to jack off on eggs? Like, maybe the fish are seeing something we don't see. There's a lot of fetishes. Foot fetish. There's a fetish where, like, the guy wants to be eaten or stomped on by a giantess.
Oh, man, giantess stuff. That's...
Yeah. Get you between her toes, that kind of thing.
There was this tweet that went viral that was just a still image from some lesbian giantess porn that I think managed to convince like 50,000 people that they were into giantess porn. Like, every single reply was someone being like, oh, this has awoken something in me. It was really weird.
Yeah, it's like Lovecraftian hidden knowledge. You see this thing, and it's like, oh, this has transformed
Some
me.
parts of your brain that was never meant to be open just goes...
Right. It's like a
Yeah.
psychedelic experience. It's
Yeah.
like doing LSD, and then suddenly you're a giantess guy.
Yeah. You need to be stumped on by a woman that's 4 foot taller than you.
Do ladies ever see that and go like, oh, I want to stomp on guys?
I guess. I mean, with
Maybe
like 7
sometimes.
billion people, there's got to be a woman walking around being
Would you like to stomp on a micro dude?
like a
I
really
think we're
small
like
man.
a sexual. Like I don't think that the idea of that like is sexual to me. Like sometimes like I want to stomp on guys just so that they die, but not like for sexual reasons. I don't know. I don't think that's for me. Yeah, I can't speak for other ladies, but this is definitely not for this lady.
I guess my point was, and sorry to like get so off topic, but I just feel like
What was the topic we were on?
Sperm.
if there are so many different kinds of porn, why isn't there a kind of porn based around eggs?
I mean, there is. Like, I've never seen it, but
Well, it should be more popular. Is all I'm
Gudeyama.
saying.
Gudetama?
Gudetama.
I've been looking for Gudetama plushies for one of my friends.
They're so cute.
Who's that?
Gudetama's the little egg. He's a little sleepy, lazy
Oh,
egg.
yeah,
and he's got
yeah.
a little butt.
Yeah, he has a little butt, but he
little
also
butt.
like turns into that guy in a suit. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't think I've seen anything except regular form Gudetama.
See, I feel like if you're turned on by giantess woman stomping on you, then fucking everything is porn. Like that microwave over there might be porn. I don't know.
Apparently, fetishes are meant to develop by you associating a formative, like childhood, or not even necessarily a childhood experience, but somehow associating a non-sexual thing, and then have a sexual thought or sexual activity happen in and around that time.
Yeah.
And
The
then
wires get crossed.
the wires get crossed.
So it's like if you
That's
were,
why so many people like Sonic porn.
Yeah, because they're playing a lot of
playing-
Sonic.
Yeah.
And it's like if you had like maybe a babysitter or a whatever when you were like a kid, and she's like 4 foot taller than you, and you were like a horny 10-year-old boy or whatever, and something happened, and you're like, oh, now I associate sexuality with women being 4 foot taller than I am.
That's probably also why sex swings are a thing, right?
I think sex swings
it's for positions.
are
right?
for middle-aged couples that have run out of things to do.
So I don't know how sex swings work, but I assume you got in the swing, you swing back and forth and gain momentum, and then the woman runs in front of you with her legs spread, and then you slam into her at a high speed.
I think that's right.
More or less, yeah. I think.
I think it's just so you can do stuff that requires
so
upper
much-
body strength.
Yeah, it's not so much a swing as it is like a holster,
A harness.
a harness.
The
Yeah,
first thing I would do in
exactly.
a sex swing is I would twist around and get it like really wound up, and then I'd spin around the opposite direction really fast and get dizzy.
And then you'd try and have sex while you were dizzy, and it's like a really fun game.
Right, yeah.
That used to be the equivalent of like, that's the closest you can get as a kid to taking drugs, is going on one of those rides where you spin around really fast and then trying to run in a straight line.
I was thinking that the other day we went by this playground and there was one of those tire swings that it's like a tire with three
Like chains or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, and I was just looking at it and I was like, you did not have a childhood unless that fucked you up at least once.
Like mentally or physically fucked you up. Like you either got really dizzy or it like smacked you in the face.
Hey man, you want to spin around? You want to get turned?
I mentally associate this one park near where I grew up with, in Sydney, that was next to where the dentist that I went to with being unwell, because it had this toy that was like, there was a central shaft that ran through it like a disc of wood, right? And it had a fiberglass helicopter around the outside of it, and it freely rotated. So you'd sit in the helicopter and you would spin on the stationary disc, but the whole helicopter would spin. And we used to try and get it to go as fast
like
as possible.
Orbit. Like you're in orbit.
like around in space.
Yeah, because you're rotating on an axis, and then you're also rotating on another axis.
Yeah.
Around a central.
Around the central thing.
Yeah.
So we'd try and spin it as fast as possible, and then you get out. And like I just did it so much, got so dizzy that I felt like sick all the time.
I hate that feeling.
And now I associate that park with being sick.
And that's how fetishes happen.
And that's why I get horny for fiberglass helicopters now.
Yeah.
And dentistry.
I still don't do drugs, but I do like to press really hard into my eyes and see funny shapes.
Yeah, that sounds way better than taking drugs.
Yeah. All right, so let's start recording. You guys,
You guys ever been to Japan?
You guys have like traveled solo and shit. This is the first time I've ever actually traveled like in a group. Well, I guess like I only first started solo traveling or whatever recently, but this is also the first time I've been like with a crew and we'll go to places together and hang out.
Yeah, I've never
Also,
done that.
I guess for exposition, for exposition, I should say, we're all in an Airbnb together, sleeping like 3 in a row.
Yeah, I like it. It reminds me of camp.
It is like camp.
Yeah.
You know,
Like-
staying up late, giggling.
Yeah.
Haha, we're supposed to be in bed.
We get a case of the giggles.
I don't. You guys get a case of the giggles. I'm a very serious person.
Yeah, you listen to your headphones. So I don't understand. How can you listen to music and go to sleep? It like doesn't compute.
I think if you're really familiar with the songs,
Then you want to sing every word and you wake back up and get happy.
yeah, I start doing karaoke in the middle of the night. No, it's if you're used to it, then none of the sounds are surprising, if that makes sense. Like nothing would make you wake up because it's not an unexpected noise.
Mm.
So, and I've been falling asleep listening to that playlist for like years and years and years, so I mentally associate it with being
It's like
sleepy.
hypnosis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also want to say about our Airbnb that, like, you know, Japanese toilets are really good and they have like 9 buttons on them and one of them like sprays water in your butt and another one
Have you guys
like
done that yet?
Oh yeah. I mean, I any place with a bidet I'll use. But the thing about Japanese bidets that are really great is it's like an auto bidet.
Does it target your butthole? Does it find where the butthole is and then?
I guess it's like computerized or like you hear it like whirring. It's like bzzz, it comes out. It's like a smart butthole washer. I don't know if it uses cameras or lasers or what, but it finds the butthole, sprays a nice jet of water in there.
I don't like that idea in a public bathroom because if it sprays your undercarriage, we're assuming that the water drips back down onto the device that's spraying you, and then it goes back into its home, and then it comes back out and sprays
You
more
need
water.
to not
you're
worry
getting-
about it because the Japanese have figured it out. Maybe when it retreats back into the toilet, it's soaked.
Are
in
you
some
telling me
kind
it
of-
like a little nozzle comes out of the U bend and then pops up?
Yes.
Like the
Yeah.
fucking thing from Star Wars that pops up from below the water?
Yes. It comes out
It's
from
more like
the
a
commode.
chest burster from Alien.
I'd see. Well, now that you say that it butthole targets, I think I will maybe give it a bash because I've been terrorized that it'll just miss. Then I'll end up with like wet legs.
Maybe it doesn't target the butthole specifically, but they have used some kind of algorithm to determine where most buttholes lie.
Oh, like the gun carters from Equilibrium.
That's right.
They've done the trajectory maths.
Yeah, it's the statistical thing.
I like that it's warm. Like some of them, the seat is like heated,
Yeah,
warm.
It
Yeah.
took me a while to realize that that's like a nice touch and not just that like someone has been sitting on the toilet for an hour before I had.
Either way, I like it.
That's fair.
They got a button where it's like it plays like flushing sounds the entire time you're using the bathroom. That way, if you're embarrassed by your noise, you know, I mean, you still hear the turds plopping, but you also hear water. That's kind of good.
So your point about this was that our toilet does not have that.
Yeah, so our Airbnb is a fucking regular 18th century American toilet
With an old-timey flush thing on it even.
no buttons, no electronics. It doesn't plug into the wall. No extra features. Sucks.
Ours is like a luxury prison bathroom. Like
Our whole
the-
Airbnb is like a luxury prison.
Yeah, like Paris Hilton stayed here
While she was in jail.
for cocaine.
It only occurred to me this morning, which I guess makes me not that smart because we've been here for a while, that the bottom of the shower that has a wall that you have to step over is meant to function as a bath.
Yes.
Except it's very short.
It's really cramped. I did take a bath in the shower,
But it's
but
quite
I was
deep.
I was in a ball and the water went up to my neck.
Well, see, if it can cover
Oh.
your entire body, then I might even give that a bash. Like,
You got to ball up.
That's fine as
You
long
gotta
as
do like the Sonic the Hedgehog thing.
because what I fucking hate, because I'm a relatively tall person, is getting into a short bath that's not deep. There's no way to get your whole body under the water.
Oh, and your legs
A
stick
puddle.
out.
Yeah,
No, you can definitely get your whole body under the water, but you just gotta ball up.
I might do that.
And it's kind of neat. It's like being in a pocket.
I love being in a pocket.
I'm starting to develop some kind of fetish, I think.
Oh, well, that's just because you've been jacking off in there constantly. But
Yeah.
Disgusting.
yeah, I'm sorry. I felt bad while I was saying that.
Nat, what's it like living in this small Airbnb with boys?
Just horrible, like I thought it was gonna be. Like, just feet smell bad, and there's like trash places. I can't stand, Derek, when you take a fucking tea bag out of the tea that you're steeping and just put it in the sink. You're like, 'cause it's wet.
You've
goes
got
in the
it
sink.
so good. You have no idea. I am one of the top 5% cleanest guys in the world, and you're complaining about my teabag behavior.
Yeah, you asked me my opinion. Don't mansplain my opinion to me. First
I
of all.
asked you your opinion so I could challenge it and destroy it. Much like a boy. The boy warrior. The king.
And I don't like how there's
Of boyhood.
just random shit on the sink. Like, everyone should put their things away. I feel like when you're living with people, if that person isn't there, you won't know that they're there because all of their things are put away. Like, it's just like an empty hotel room. That's what it should be like.
Hey, I like when things are neat, but we're on vacation. Do we want to spend most of our time cleaning and not living in filth?
Right, and that's why I didn't bring it up until you just asked me about it.
Appreciate that.
I've had a lot of fun just laying in our beds, giggling at night. That's fun. And getting the yum yums.
Getting some treats.
We've been getting a lot of treats. I don't snack a lot at home, but I feel like we go to convenience stores about 5 times a day. And I also don't generally eat 3 meals a day, and we're doing that. So I feel very decadent.
I want to eat more meals a day. I'm only limited biologically by the amount of food that I can like fit into my like fucking ever expanding stomach.
What if we gave
If it were up to
you-
me, I would eat like 6 or 7 meals a day in Japan.
What if we did that thing, a fistula? Like the hole that they put in the side of cows? What if we gave you one of those? And then we just lifted the food out?
That'd be awfully considerate of you.
I just want you to eat as many meals as you can. I feel like we've actually maybe slackened off a little. I think we maybe only had 2 meals yesterday.
Yeah, well, we had huge meals, but you did.
Oh, God, fuck, I ate so much dinner.
You did mention like the convenience stores, or I think they call them convenies.
I don't think that's true, but go on.
I'll call them that, and maybe it'll catch on in Japan. Who knows? The convenience stores here are like extremely high level. It's like stereotypical, but it's true. Like the 7-Eleven is so much fucking better than American 7-Elevens. And they've got like Family Mart and Lawson's and whatever. There's a bunch of different places, and they're all really good.
The convenience store we went to yesterday, as we were leaving, the guy, like, he just presented us with like a box that had like a hole punched out to put your arm in and like said something in Japanese, and we didn't know what it meant. And he was like, oh, like gestured, like, put your hand in here. And it turned out that we had somehow unlocked like a lottery where where you put your hand in there, and if you pull out something that says you get a free drink. And I'm like, that was really cool. We didn't win anything, but just that was cool.
Derek won some noodles today via that method.
Really?
Yeah, I played the convenience store hand in the box game again, and I won a ticket for free noodle.
Pretty hot noodles as
What
well.
unlocks the hand of the box guy though?
Is it like a
Because-
minimum spend, maybe?
It might be, or it might just be like the guy's discretion or something.
Yeah, they like
because
the look
I
of
never had that happen to me before at a convenience store until just yesterday, and then today.
What were we buying yesterday when it happened?
I think a lot of shit.
I think it might be a minimum spend type deal.
Yeah, but the food in convenience stores is good. The people there are like nice. Convenience stores, people go into convenience stores in Japan. They get food and they eat it in the convenience store sitting down.
And I think, I mean, they're kind of the way they are out of necessity, right? Because most people don't have space, means, or time to cook. And also, it's not like you can just drive to the local supermarket because most people don't have cars.
Yeah.
So you're like, I just need a nice meal for dinner. I'm going to go to my local convenience store, of which there are fucking thousands. And you go inside, and the sushi is fresh. The fried chicken is supposedly delicious. I've not been able to try it yet. I've been told the pork buns very, very good as well, but I've not tried those
I've
yet.
had the buns. They're damn good.
I only noticed that our local convenience store has them today, and I think I'm going to get one later this evening.
Mm.
One pork bun, one bit of fried chicken.
I wonder if the convenient food and convenient stores in America is good too, but I just don't bother to try it.
It's
like
not.
It's not.
the
I've,
egg
I've
salad.
dude, I've eaten at convenience stores so much, especially like in my town in the Midwest, because there's nothing. Convenience stores in America, I mean, you just walk in one, you know you're in a certain kind of place. It inspires sadness.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's like what happened to me in my life that now I'm at this shitty place?
I agree.
There's this on the drive out to my mum's place. So she lives like way out in the country. So there's like heaps of really big like gas stations on the way out there because it's like, lots of trucks and stuff go down that way. And they opened this huge new one out in the middle of nowhere that has a massive convenience store attached to it. And it's like so rare because all of them are generally garbage, right? All of those convenience stores generally suck ass.
Right.
And this one is incredible. And for some reason, they've got like lots of gourmet food in there that's like sitting in the like under
This
heating
is
lamps
in the
and
middle
stuff.
of the outback with nothing around
It's
it?
not like the outback, but it's like rural Australia. But it's not going to stay like that for long. It's only like that because it's new. But it's also the weirdest, saddest place because it's this giant building with like everything is like beautifully polished. It's very, very nice, but they don't have that many shelves in there, so it feels very empty. And it's got really big high ceilings, and the music they're playing in there is very soft. So it just feels like almost like what I imagine like the ballroom in the like Romanov mansion or whatever felt like after people stopped going there. Just like large and sad and empty of this like unappreciated grandeur. It just bums me out. Every time we've like stopped in there to buy ice creams, I'm just like,
Well, lucky for you, it's going to be run down very soon.
oh, I can't wait. Yeah, it's going to like be filled with diarrhea like every other service station in the world is. But yeah, it's strange. It's a strange experience. That sort of niceness just doesn't gel with the Australian way of life.
So convenience stores are better here, but it's not like that's in isolation. It's like a symptom of like
I feel like the way you treat yourself is the way you treat others. And as Americans, most of us are slobs and we treat our home and our space like it's just like a trash land and that it's someone else's job to pick up after us, or if this was shitty before, then it's not my job to fucking fix it. And I feel like here they're not like that at all.
but I do feel that way in America because if I go into a place and like it's a shithole and there's stuff on the ground, I'm not gonna pick up the stuff and put it in the box, and arrange it for them. But if I go here and it's a nice space and everyone else is clearly taking care of it, and I see something on the floor, I'll probably pick it up because I'm like, well, I've got to preserve this. It's a kind of like, it sustains itself. That attitude is self-sustaining.
We were walking down the street the other day and I saw a piece of trash on the ground and I picked it up and just started carrying
I
it with
saw
us
that.
for a while and then threw it away.
Like, who is this person? I don't want to think the racist Jiro dreams of sushi thing where it's like they're all masters of their craft. But at the same time, you go to a place and people act a certain way. There's a general attitude. And the general attitude here in Tokyo is like, you're going to do some shit, it might as well be good.
Maybe we just can't read
feel like
what
even
their
the-
form of shittiness is.
Even the animals here, like the dogs and the cats and stuff that we've seen that people have had, are like better behaved than us.
I mean, I've not seen any dogs acting out.
No, like in the United States, or okay, fuck, not the United States. In LA, specifically in Silver Lake, where I live, everyone's got this rescue dog that's like got mental illness or something, and like
The dog
can't-
has PTSD.
right, and it like can't sit still, and like other dogs scare it, and like if you put the leash on it the wrong way, it's gonna bite you, and it's like crying.
If it
and
sees someone in a yellow shirt, it'll shit itself and fall over.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. And everyone's dogs here are just like really, really well behaved. Like they sit down when they see the light.
Okay, but part of that is maybe we walked past like a puppy store and we were looking at the cute dogs and we're like, holy crap, look at these freaks. They were like genetically engineered to be the cutest things in the primate mind could even fucking recognize. And then you look at the price tag and it's like, oh, this dog is $6,000.
So what are you saying?
The
I'm
dogs
saying-
have robot brains.
I'm saying, there are probably misbehaved dogs in Japan and they just get sent to the chair.
Hmm. Yeah. I can't see like maybe that's the thing, is that in LA, like someone sees a dog that's missing a leg or something, and they're like, oh, that's cute. It doesn't have an eye, or it doesn't have a leg, or
Right.
it pees itself when I come home because it's so excited. Where here they would be like, that dog is broken. I don't want it.
Yeah, they throw it onto a pit like at the start of 300. They're like, This baby will not make it. This dog will not make it.
Yeah.
That's a good Japanese game show. Dog
300.
dog basketball.
You got to throw a dog.
You gotta throw a dog
into a pit.
into a
That doesn't
furnace.
feel particularly challenging. Well, I guess a furnace maybe. Like a pit, just everyone wins at that game show. Hey, you got the dog in the pit. The pit is 300 foot wide. The dog is a foot long. The odds were in your favor.